Hey, Dr. Josh Wagner here with Dr. Andrew Robson over in the UK. And I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with Andrew for, man, 4, maybe 5 years now. He actually got into the program as an associate, knowing in 6+ months he was going to be going out on his own and starting his own practice and wanting to prepare himself best because he knew he wanted to do it in a different model than the one he was associated in. And Andrew, I give such credit to because he's one of the docs that I know goes through the material, asks questions, stays involved, comes overseas to get to the seminars, and is now part of the Platinum Mastermind. And again, just well before that, I know he took what was offered and used it because I believe when he started his own practice, he set 1 year goals, whether visits, collections, revenue. And I think it was by month 4 that he hit his 1 year projected goals, which just shows he's acting on the material and staying engaged. So this isn't about me talking anymore. Andrew's going to answer the few questions so you can get a better sense of if you're feeling overwhelmed, lost on your own, how to best take advantage of this. So, Andrew, thanks for sharing your wisdom. And first question is, how would you best suggest someone who just starts to really engage with the material?
Yeah, sure. I really appreciate what you said in the build up as well. But yeah, someone who's new to the material, what I'd advise them to do is immediately really focus on module 1, which covers the principles of the 3 essentials: communication, and the initial consult and report the findings. The reason I'd say focus on that first up, you are going to get far more people who want to start care with you. So that's going to boost your confidence. It's also going to increase your revenue straight off the bat. Secondly, there are other factors like as you will follow your material, the patient mastery material, the whole process becomes a lot less stressful. You don't worry about ROFs, whether people are going to start care or not. It's a far more natural process. So financially much better, but also a much more relaxed way of practicing. You can be far more true to yourself, congruent to what you really think, not scripting, and it makes it a much more relaxed way to practice.
Oh, and a question. A lot of docs sometimes get overwhelmed thinking they have to learn it all before they start applying it. What's your
No,
take?
no. You can focus on each. You constantly work and constantly improve. And I'm still, it's coming up 5 years. I still go back over the basic stuff to keep myself honed and sharp. But you can work on little bits at a time and employ them more and more as you go through. And every little bit helps. Every little bit will add to your, how congruent you come across in practice, and how successful you are.
Excellent. Looking back on those strategies, are there one or two that you've enjoyed the most applying into practice and seeing results with?
Yeah. So two things in particular. What this covers a lot of sections, but really good active listening techniques, really that will help boost your connection with the patient in the immediate sense when they're there in front of you for the new patient consult, but long term as well, because you really, when you sit there and you really listen, and you're not thinking, right, what's the problem? You're not immediately diagnosing. You're not thinking, right, okay, this is what it is. How am I going to, sell care, or why this person should have a program, that kind of thing. You're just really in the moment, listening to what they say. They are going to be aware of that as well. They will tell that you really are listening and really care about what's going on with their life, what their concerns are, their hopes and their fears, and what their goals are. You're going to build a much better connection with the patients. It's much better for patient-centered care. So that's the first thing, the real active listening. And the second thing is actually kind of an offshoot of the first. Was when you're dealing with, not objections, but when people, are saying, Doc, I've been coming for a few weeks, it's not coming along quite as much as I'd hoped, this kind of thing. Now, in the past, a lot of management systems, you're taught to logically explain, well, Jeff, it's a long-term process. You've been in pain for a long time. We've got this process is going on, ligament, and that kind of thing, giving them a biomechanical, biochemical explanation, logical. And it may be, parts of it may be true. We've all those kind of things we say, But as soon as you start saying that, the person's eyes glaze over, the arms fold, and they go defensive. And they say, no, you're not listening. You're not really listening. So what you pick out in patient mastery is really how to deal with that, with those kind of situations in a way that makes the person feel heard and respected and understood, and is far more effective with sort of allaying those concerns than trying to give them a logical explanation.
Perfect. How about any areas that this has made a difference outside of your practice, just in your life, and whether it's anything you've learned in the module or just the connection? What would you share in terms of just a life benefit?
Life benefits, basically, it just makes you a better communicator, and this is just a better active listening to people, not trying to see other people's point of view better, just better communication, but almost better relationships with friends and family, because you don't try, if you're getting into a disagreement with someone, you're not trying to convince them of your point of view. You're actually listening and understanding where they're coming from much better, and it leads to much better, more productive relationships, and much less, disagreements don't tend to fester, that kind of thing. So a lot of knock-on benefits outside of life, outside of practice as well, into day-to-day life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love hearing from doctors who use the 3 essentials, oftentimes with a spouse when there's a recurring tension or issue, and how phenomenally that works. And really, that could be used with anyone, and the people who are closest to you, it's going to work the best, because it just shows them a connection that they've never seen before.
Absolutely.
So it really resets the convo. Last question. The difference between the content in the program compared to getting to a live seminar or engaging on the weekly calls or listening to the recordings, the difference between those 3, what would you say?
Sure. Well, I mean, the basic level, you'll get a great deal out of going through the content by yourself. That's good. But you get the next best level from coming in on the weekly calls, because you hear other people's questions, things you might not have thought about, and you get advice about things where you didn't think even to ask that there might be an issue, or there might be something you can improve on. So you get extra stuff there. That's the second level. The best level is undoubtedly going to the live seminar, because you get to you get a different level of nuance and understanding when you are there in person, practicing with someone face to face, practicing with yourself, Josh, occasionally, which you've been very good
you experience it.
Experience it, yes, yeah. And also, the huge benefit that I found is just meeting with other chiropractors, other docs who are really performing at a very high level, bouncing ideas off each other, and you all raise each other's game, and it's a massive boost on top of what I've already got, which is great.
Perfect. Unless there's anything else you want to share, that's great, and it gives people exact steps of, hey, this is the best way to engage, and you don't have to do it all at once before applying it to your practice. To get started and immediately see results, and then they just keep building on each other, and connection is more important than just the content.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing this and helping other doctors, and I will see you in 5 minutes on the group call.
All right.
All right, be well.